Lucky Boys Podcast.
It's freaky and sad,
man.
You know, just knowing that where she ended up.
Yeah.
In a water tank, naked, alone by
now,
herself.
why do you think she was naked? That's also bizarre.
Yeah, bizarre, but it was explained that...
But they didn't find any foul play, and there was no sexual...
Yeah, there was no bruising, no marks,
Right.
no scratches.
Right.
They were thinking like she was trying to stay afloat. So she was taking all that excess weight.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because
that makes sense.
If maybe when she fell into the tank or went into the tank, she was trying to get out, but couldn't get out because there was no ladder in the tank.
But time out. But I would think of that before. I would take off my clothes before I get in. If I'm actively drowning, I'm not taking off my clothes. I'm in a panic. I wouldn't be able to have that clarity of thought.
Right. Remember, she's in psychosis. You know, she's not. She's in.
But who's in panic mode taking off their clothes?
Yeah, but I mean, like you can't really. You can't really get into her mindset at that time because
you can't.
It's like
really
she's in a she's either hallucinating or in a psychosis where nothing makes sense to us, right?
But it makes perfect sense to her.
Right, exactly.
You could kind of see that in the elevator video.
She's doing strange things.
Because there's no conclusive evidence in any direction.
There is a conclusive evidence. I mean, so
this is like an open and shut case. It's not unsolved.
So when I say conclusive evidence, what I mean is like there is no evidence that there is foul play. So we can only assume that this happened.
But there's no evidence that there wasn't either, right? If you had to prove it the other way, they can't prove conclusively that this is what happened. Mm-hmm. That she. These are all theories. There's no camera showing her going up
to the water tank and
right,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. These are theories that they're putting together. That they're going, okay, so this is what happened. She probably felt because she was off her meds. She felt paranoid. She went
did
that
window,
thing in the elevator, and then she went out. She tried to find some place to escape. Went up the roof. Went in the water tank. Took off her clothes to try to survive and stay afloat. And boom, bing bang. That's it. Mm-hmm. There's no proof of that either. The only proof we see is that
the video.
Here's what we know. We know she was schizophrenic. She was bunked up with other people and they felt uncomfortable with her. And that she was freaking out in that elevator.
She also had an altercation in the lobby where she was screaming.
She did.
Yeah. Screaming at hotel guests. And so I think that was the reason or the final straw.
Didn't she go to the bookstore too?
Yes.
Around the corner. What was that about?
So she went to the bookstore to buy these books, and the police were investigating. They thought like the people, or she met someone at the bookstore, or she met someone
right.
like a guy she was talking to on the internet or trying to meet him at the bookstore.
Right. Didn't she?
Yeah. In her like internet diary, she always talks about like finding love and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, so part of that story is she went to a bookstore to find and purchase the book. And so people thought like, oh, she went to meet a guy, but apparently...
What book was it?
I don't know what book it was. I don't think it's important. I think it's... Oh, people were trying to like make a connection to the book. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but someone delivered the book and they questioned the delivery guy who delivered the book to her. Mm-hmm. But it was a dead end. There was like no connection.
Right.
It wasn't someone that she was meeting. It was just some delivery guy from the bookstore.
Delivery guy.
Yeah. And they kind of took out the bookstore had really no relevance in the case.
It's a chilling case, man. Even let's just say it is the schizophrenia part. Mm-hmm. What's chilling about it is the thought that someone's following you and that you're in a foreign place on your own. And you're starting to hear voices. And you're thinking that someone's following you. You're trying to get away. And no matter what you do, you still don't feel safe.
Yeah.
That shit is scary. Like, that is chilling. To be a woman, especially.
Alone. In a city that you've never been to before. And not even the best part of the neighborhood, too.
Right. So. With a lot of sketchy characters, which will contribute to your paranoia. Mm-hmm. And you're off your meds.
Yeah.
And what if someone was really following her? You know? So it's just like these added layers. But to her, and let's say nobody was following her, but to her, someone was. It was very real to her.
I think it's just scary, the fact that she was traveling, and she had mental issues, and she had no medication. The fact that she was just by herself, that's sad. And she died by herself.
Do you think that place, and you know what's freaky too? People were drinking from the water tank, like, because that's the source.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
People were basically drink. You know, the guest there was drinking whatever.
They were complaining about a weird taste.
And the water was like discolored.
Yeah,
too.
Discolored. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's been.
And the body was decomposing there for a while, so they've been drinking her. Yo, this is like when you talk about a horror story. I mean, that checks pretty much all the boxes, man. That's freaky.
There was actually a horror film based off that.
Really?
Yeah. It's called Dark Water with Jennifer Connelly. And
is that what Dark Water's about?
Yeah, she moves into this home, and then the water always comes out black, and she was like, "What's going on here?" So basically, like,
it's loosely based on the Cecil Hotel. I mean,
I think it's loosely based. Also, that movie came out during like the investigation, I think, and so people were like connecting the two.
Damn, that was quick. How'd they make a movie that fast?
But I think it was. I don't think it was specifically based off that, that incident.
Yeah.
But it's just perfect storm, right? Like, people were seeing all these different things about Dark Water. The Cecil Hotel has its sort of history, so they're trying to connect dots there, But it is sad, like, the fact that she was alone and her body wasn't found. Like, the initial search, the police missed they didn't even search the water tank. They searched the roof.
Who would think so? I wouldn't think to.
I mean, like, you do an investigation, you gotta search everywhere.
That's true, but they're not. You got to keep in mind, they're not like.
I mean, they're just supposed to be the best of the best. LAPD. So.
I mean, what do you think? They just gave like a lazy look around.
They could found an initial investigation. It took like a month later to realize, like, oh shit.
Is that how long it took to find her body?
Yeah, I think it was a little more than a month, but it took a while. They went back up to the roof. They found that the lid of the water tank was open.
But if you were killing someone, wouldn't you clean up after that mess? And I'm not trying to stir something up, but just thinking, if I'm a cop, I would go, like, I would have to look for other clues. Like, I wouldn't just say, oh, open and shut case, she was off this and that. I would do a step further. I got to check all my boxes just to make sure there was no foul play. I think
that's what they did?
If I were to kill someone, wouldn't I clean up the clues? Right? Any fingerprints, whatever it is, clean it up and dispose the body somewhere. Like, if I can't drag it out the hotel because there's too many eyes that would see the body, what's the most convenient way to hide it? Up in the water tank. And then the body would decompose. It won't be much clues in there. Right? By the time they get to the body, you'll discover it. There won't be any more fingerprints or anything like that.
I think
wouldn't that be like an ideal place given the options that you have? You can't carry the body with your hands down, and you're in a very public place with a lot of cameras in the elevators, and you're not going to risk dragging a body in the staircases.
That would make sense, but when you looked at the footage of the water tankers, you see like the ladder that goes up there. How are you going to carry the body up all the way up there, and then dump the body and not even close the lid to hide the evidence? Right? The lid was open.
Right.
And the police looked into maybe like the possibility.
Was it a 2-person job? Where they help you lift the body there? I mean, it's not like she was a big girl or a big person. She was a very petite girl.
Petite girl, like 100 pounds, but it's you carrying like a petite person, 100 pounds, and climbing with one hand.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was more than one person involved. You had a spot. Someone hold the legs, you hold the other part of the body, and
even that's just difficult and hard to imagine the fact that, like, even 2 people, how are you gonna climb?
But if you had to hide a body, you'll be able to do it. You had that motivation, you'll be able to do it.
So why not close the lid?